nothing.
Wala.
Wala na.
You mentioned na parang actually anong tawag dito, yung military exercise na nangyari over the weekend was actually part of your initial recommendation.
Yeah.
Your idea, the idea that
Nothing to brag about. I think that was evolving when I mentioned that last year, February 2023, to be exact. And it's nothing to brag about. I think it's really needed, and it will be a necessary consequence of our adherence to international law. Kasi yung UNCLOS, kahit saan natin pagbali-baliktarin, Article 123 of UNCLOS encourages states to cooperate in the conservation and management of living resources in the high seas. And Article 94 of UNCLOS states that it is the duty of states to cooperate in the maintenance of peace, security, and good order in the oceans. Maintenance. Article 94 of UNCLOS states that it is the duty of states to cooperate in the maintenance of peace, security, and good order in the oceans. Yung ginawa kahapon, that's part of it. Yung pagsasama-sama at pagsasanib-sanib ng dalawang destroyer, isa buhat sa Australia, isa buhat sa Japan, dalawang barko ng Pilipinas at yung USS Mobile, ito na yun. Ito na yun. And I think this will be a regular occurrence. It is not just a one standalone military patrol exercise.
So when you say regular, it's going to be parang a regular thing also with or without an exercise. Na may mangyayari magpapatrol sa Kalagatan, gano'n ba yun?
Ibig sabihin ng regular, magiging hindi ito minsanan lang. Magkakaroon pa ng mga pagpapatrol kasama ang Australia and Japan. And of course, yung US lagi naman nandyan. It is a consequence perhaps, pero mas malaki yung positive mas malaki yung positive one. It will signal a strengthened alliance or alliances with like-minded countries. Ang India nga kumakatok na, di ba? Ang India before the Holy Week was here. Yung external affairs minister nila, and there was one Coast Guard boat of India. Nandito na yon. So, I think it will signify a commitment to mutual defense and security cooperation among allies. So, mas titibay yung diplomatic ties natin doon sa mga defense allies natin na kasama po sa UNCLOS. Number 2, it will signal a strong deterrence na hindi tayo basta-basta kayang mabuli. Tapos yung mga nagsasabi na baka lalong magalit ang China, para sa akin, it will promote more regional stability because of the joint patrol will contribute to regional security and cooperation. Mas kailangan natin to as ASEAN tries to promote a greater ASEAN region as well, Asia Pacific, Indo-China region. So, mas makakatulong sa atin to. And then yung sinabi ko kahapon, na baka later on ma-realize ng China na mas mabuti sa kanilang interes na hayaan ito kasi para na rin sa kanilang interes ito.
Pero on one hand, nagsagawa rin ng sarili ng maritime exercise.
Nakabuntot sila doon, 8 nautical miles behind.
So what does it tell us? Kung meron kanya, meron din ako dito.
It tells us that hindi sila pumapalag sila kasi gusto nilang ipakita sa kanilang mga kababayan na hindi naman sila natakot din. Subalit ganun talaga yan. Let me tell you something. Noong araw nagkaroon ng dispute ang China and Russia. 1991 yan, 1991. Russia and China border dispute yan. Nagkaroon ng skirmishes, nagkaroon ng Tuloy din ang patrol ng Russia sa boundary nila, tuloy din ang patrol ng China. Natapos sila 2004. 2004 with the signing of the Sino-Soviet Border Agreement. Treaty on Good Neighborliness and Friendship 2004. At merong isang malapit-lapit sa atin na ganyan din, nagkaroon din ng maritime dispute ang Indonesia and Malaysia sa Celebes Sea. Ito yung Ambalat area, yung pinag-aagawan nila gas and oil. Napakahabang panahon na nagtatalo sila. But then again, in 2009, they were able to resolve the dispute. Nagpirmahan din sila ng isang kasunduan. Meron ding dispute ang China and Vietnam. Ang haba rin. 1979, nagbarilan pa sila. So nagtapos sila ng 1999. After 20 years, they signed a land border treaty, China and Vietnam. So kita niya yung haba, 2 decades. So ang nakikita ko dito, kahit ginagawa natin ito, yung Joint Maritime Patrol, Maritime MCA ang tawag ngayon, Maritime Cooperative Agreement, dapat tuloy din yung diplomatic engagement natin. Dapat makipag-usap din tayo sa kanila. Subalit, dapat palakasin natin yung alliances natin at yung binanggit ko 2 weeks ago, even with non-defense treaty allies, Norway, the Netherlands, sama na natin ang Chile. O ngayon nyo lang marinig yung Chile, sama natin ang Chile. Kasi ang Chile, malaki rin ang coastal area niyan. So para sa mga marine and scientific research. So I think one former justice of the Supreme Court also espoused that idea na mag-concentrate din sa marine research. But palakasin natin ang ating maritime capability. Huwag natin kalimutan.
Pero for now, di ba, ayaw din naman makapag-usap ng China sa atin, not unless it's
Bilateral.
bilateral. So paano yung magiging approach if that is the temper of China?
Alam mo siguro, darating din yung panahon na makikipag-usap sila. Ayaw lang nilang mapahiya siguro ngayon, pero ganun din yung nangyari dito sa mga nabanggit kong mga incidents, yung Sino-Russia, Sino-Vietnam, at maging yung Malaysia and Indonesia. May katagalan nga lang. So, I'm positive na may magandang resolution to. Kaya lang, sa ngayon, hindi dapat tayo tumiklop at dapat palakasin natin ang ating not just military alliances but even our own internal defense capability. At ginagawa naman po natin yan.
Sir, sa kita po itong mga ginagawa ng mga military exercises, kasi yung mga mangingisda, sila yung hinaharas. And ano po kaya yung pwedeng gawin ng government for them ngayon? Kasi while we are having military exercises, wala namang gandang nabantay sa mga mangingisda.
So you're referring to the April 4 incident, yun ba siguro? So siguro patuloy na palakasin natin yung fleet natin, dagdagan yung mga barko ng BIFAR, dagdagan yung mga Coast Guard vessels na umaayuda, nagbibigay ng gasolina, naglalagay ng payaw sa ating karagatan, at yung mga iba pang dapat natin gawin. Alam mo yun, Mab, sinama kita doon sa diba dati, kaya nga nagtampo yung iba rito na sinama kita doon sa, marami pa tayong dapat ganun gawin.
Sir, ngayon po sabi lang ng China na yun daw pong nilagay ng mga payaw sa Recto Bank, harmful to the environment daw yun. So parang sinisira parang ng Pilipinas yung coral reefs and yung mga resources sa West Philippines.
Mas marami na silang sinira. Kailan naman sila naging environment friendly? Ginawa nga nilang airstrip yung Fiery Cross at saka Mischief Reef. Mas marami na sila nasira. So siguro wala silang karapatan magsabi na nakakasira tayo sa kalikasan. Sila ang nakasira sa kalikasan. Sa Binasol, for example, Sandy Cay. Sila, di ba, nakita naman ng mga UP marine scientists na iba na yung kulay, discoloration na. Di ba, pinakita ko sa inyo yung litrato ng mga nakaraang panahon. They're lying.
Pero, yun, balikan ko na ng konti. Balik sa kabila ng military exercise, as well, aside from regulated, maraming salamat. So, paano yun? Hindi po ba paano ba natin siya dapat basahin? Hindi nag-worsen ang conflict or talagang it's getting worse?
Sa akin, ang na-highlight kasi ngayon yung pagpapakita ng Pilipinas na hindi tayo titiklop. We are not ready to succumb to the pressure coming from the People's Republic of China. So, hindi ito na-highlight ng mga nakaraang panahon eh. Kaya natin nasasabing na-aggravate kasi ngayon tayo nagfe-flex ng ating kaunting muscles, katulong yung mga kaalyado natin. So, I don't think that it has been aggravated. Siguro, ang dagdag lang dito yung water cannoning nila at saka yung patuloy na pag-exercise ng dangerous maneuvers. Pero ganun pa rin eh. Kaya sa akin, stay the course.
Chef, sundot lang. Pero have we seen the worst case scenario or we are about to see or expect the worst scenario from China?
Yung mga nabanggit kong incidents kanina, umabot sila ng worst case scenario eh. Yung border skirmishes ng China with Russia, yung Vietnam, China, nagkaroon ng putukan doon eh. So siguro kung magkakaroon ng worst case scenario, baka malapit-lapit na sa armed violence more than water cannoning, wag naman mangyari because that would invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty. So maingat din ng China.
Pero pwede po mag-segue lang kami ng legal opinion lang ninyo on the case of Pastor Kibuloy. Kasi
Madagdag ko lang to sa ongoing maritime cooperation. Siguro, ang nakikita ko rito to add value to the current maritime cooperation, I look forward to the involvement of U.S. Navy planes in assisting us in cloud seeding operations to help us combat the current El Nino, to help our farmers. 45 degrees, galing ako Kawayan Isabela, galing ako ng Zambales, ang init. So siguro yung ating existing cooperation sa kanila napasok doon sa kasama ang humanitarian missions na hindi lang naman natural calamities. Calamity rin po ang El Nino eh. Yung Department of Agriculture, walang cloud seeding planes. Nag-hire pa sila. Eh kung humingi tayo ng tulong sa US Navy, yung Navy planes gamitin, ang taas ng kapabilidad nila, ginagawa nila yan sa California. Kung ihilingin natin sila mag-cloud seeding, eh palagay ko uulan dun sa ibang lugar at maibsan yung problema ng ating magsasaka, lalong-lalo na ngayon, hindi makapagtanim ng palay.
Sir,
Yes.
As a lawyer ng Senator, kabila yung arrest warrant kay Kibuloy ngayon. Sir, can you help us understand lang? Kung kanino possibly mapupunta yung custody, when, for example, yung Senate sa makapag-execute ng arrest or yung court ang mauna, paano ba sir yung magiging process kapag
You're referring to the current case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think there is I think we defer to the courts kasi merong mga husgado na involved na ngayon. You're talking now of the 11th Judicial Regional Trial Court, Branch 12 of Davao City. And I think there is also a case in, if I'm not mistaken, Pasig, saan ba? So siguro yung husgado. But, if in any case, the OSAA will not be able to serve the warrant, that would not prevent the Senate from filing a case pursuant to Article 150 of the Revised Penal Code, also in another court, for disobedience to a summons issued by the Senate. So ganun din. So nagpapakita ito na mas may ngipin ngayon yung husgado kasi usaping legal na ito But that does not diminish the power of the Senate to enforce and serve the warrant. So marami tayong kaso dito na nilabas na ang Supreme Court na pwedeng maging batayan. Ang sa akin dito, siguro igalang yung karapatan ni Pastor kung pwede siya mag-file ng bailable kasi ito sa magpiyansa. Mag-file ng ng bail at gamitin niya, exercise niya yung karapatan niya.
Pero sir, yung kasi yung defiance and nagsisend siya ng mga conditions na hindi dapat, for example, in an existing case, diba, sir? Parang andun yung obligation ng isang supposed accused to face the court or to hit the arrest order, diba, sir?
So, what was the question?
So, ano yung equivalent, sir, ng continuous defiance?
Yun na nga. Halimbawang, if you're referring to the Senate, ito na yung Article 150 ng Revised Penal Code. The Senate can file an appropriate case with the RTC, siguro Pasay. Ganun din yon, magkakaroon ng hearing, pwede mag-issue ng warrant of arrest because of that defiance that you mentioned, and then dun din mauuwi sa pag-issue ng warrant of arrest. And all of this would be bailable. Pwedeng magpiyansa. Lahat ito pwedeng magpiyansa. So, hayaan natin yung mga abogado niya siguro ang magdesisyon kung ano yung mga hakbang na legal na kanilang gagawin. At ulitin ko, yung sinabi ko dati, igalang din natin yung karapatan niya at siguro tingnan din natin yung pangingibabaw ng rule of law.
Sir, sundan ko lang po yung kay Ma'am Shell. Ang sineset po kasi ni Pastor Nicoloy na parang nire-request po niya. Sabi niya po, he would not surrender unless the government po made a written guarantee that American authorities would not meddle in the cases. So, should the government po heed his request?
No comment ako doon. Di ko naman alam yung background noon. So, siguro, as a law-abiding citizen, sundin po yung batas. Pero I would not comment on the conditions. I have yet to see the letter na sinasabi nyo kung meron.
Sir, pag ang dinedefine niya yung arrest warrant coming from the court, paano yung magiging process? Kasi kanina yung sinight niya yung Senate arrest order.
Alam nyo, merong proseso kasi. Even yung I have here the order in front of me. Even yung court order, yung issuance ng warrant of arrest, the warrant can be quashed. May procedure dito So pag kinwash yung warrant, mababaliwala yung warrant. So yung hakbanging yon dapat hakbanging legal na gawin ng kanyang abogado. So pag nakwash yung warrant of arrest, wala nang warrant. So insofar as the branch 12 case is concerned, wala muna yon. Pag nakwash yon, set aside yon. Yung warrant maghihiring uli. So may mga procedure doon, may mga requirements kung ano yung dapat gawin. Hayaan na natin yung abogado niya ang gumawa niyan. I would not meddle in what his legal team is doing right now. So I am sure they're planning to do something. Yun naman sa Supreme Court na naka-elevate, it has something to do not with the warrants issued but with the Senate inquiry. So yun din siguro dapat ma-interview nyo yung mga abogado niya na para ipaliwanag. Dalawa yon. Dalawa itong pinag-uusapan natin. Yung warrant sa Senate at yung warrant ng Regional Trial Court. Warrant ng Regional Trial Court, magpiyansa ka. Kung ayaw magpiyansa, ipakwash mo yung warrant. Warrant ng Senate, kung ayaw mo sundin, hintayin mo yung desisyon ng Supreme Court. Ang Senate naman, kung sakaling kung hindi ma-serve yung warrant, can avail of Article 150 of the Revised Penal Code, which will lead to another issuance of a warrant coming from the Regional Trial Court, which is also, at the same time, quashable and bailable. So maraming legal options So, hayaan natin sigurong i-exercise niya yung karapatan niyang legal at igalang natin yung kung ano yung hakbangin niyang gagawin. So, okay na siguro yun. Oh.
Clarify ko lang. Kasi wala pa naman decision yung Supreme Court
Wala pa.
sa petition for the Senate order. Pag ganun ba, sir, somehow, pwede siyang i-consider as window period or buying time in the event na wala pa namang desisyon ang Supreme Court dun sa pinano niya?
Buying time for what?
Para hindi siya basta
Sa Senate. They can claim that. Pero itong sa Regional Trial Court, ito yung bailable ngayon. Dalawa eh. Minsan naghahalo-halo na natin eh. Di ba?
Sir, one topic lang.
Mm.
Anong take dito sa gentleman's agreement na pinasok ni former president? Allegedly.
Nagsalita na yung marami na nagsasalita eh. Una, if you look at the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, a treaty, an agreement, has to be in what? Writing. In writing. If it is a treaty, what is the next step? If it is a treaty in writing, it has to be ratified by the Senate. O paano mo mararatify yung verbal? Di ba? Unless you have a transcript submitted by the Department of Foreign Affairs at the Senate na iraratify. So wala. So tama yung sinabi na wala naman dokumento. How will you ratify something which is verbal? Di ba? And to elucidate this, remember, let me refresh your memory. First day of the 18th Congress, after the prayer and national anthem, correct me if I'm wrong, I delivered my first privilege speech concerning unwritten agreements. Tandaan niyo yun. First day ko, bago lang ako dito, unang araw pagkatapos ng national anthem, privilege speech. It's about this. So, if it is not in writing, it is not considered as an agreement ratifiable by the Senate pursuant to our Constitution. So, what agreement are we talking about?
Sir, void, as in void, parang kasabi ni Senator kung void siya.
Void perhaps might be I might use a different term. Try to research my privilege speech. It's all there. I talked about it since 2019. Ma'am,
Sir, bakit po i-insist ng China na mayroong gentleman's agreement?
because
Do you think nagbablock lang?
yung ini-insist nila in their favor yun eh. 'Di ba yun yung makakatulong sa ginagawa nila ngayon eh. Yun yung kanilang proteksyon doon sa pangaharang nila siguro. Para may masabi lang sila na gano'n, 'di ba? Siyempre hindi nila babanggitin yung hindi makakatulong sa kanilang interest. Who is talking? Ma'am.
Pero ano yung effect nun sa atin as a nation, considering that China is making the claim and a fellow Filipino is making the claim?
Who is a Filipino?
Si Atty. Roque.
Si Atty. Roque kasi, dinidispute naman siya nila Secretary Panelo. So, hindi ko alam kung saan nakuha ni Secretary Harry Roque yung sinasabi niya. Unless, katabi siya doon sa nag-uusap at doon siya nagmarites. Katabi siya, naririnig niya na gano'n. Hindi naman siya. Doon siya? Katabi siya, narinig niya yung... dinideny na ni Presidente Duterte. So, sino magpapatunay na? Di mag-usap silang dalawa ni Xi Jinping na, nandyan nga si Secretary Roque, narinig niya. Di ba? Natawa tuloy si Hindi siguro baka nahihilo lang si Secretary Roque. May jet lag. Saan galing?
Sir, isa pang tanong. So, ano yung gusto niyong sabihin dun sa marami mga colonists, mga
That?
citizens natin na who are seemingly siding with China sa views ng China?
That?
That na magkakaroon tayo ng gera, pag halimbawa tinuloy ito, yung aggressiveness natin, and other pro-China.
Ang kailangan natin protektahan yung sarili nating bansa. Hindi naman pwede natin ibigay na lang yung ating kasarinlan dahil merong nagsasabi ng ganito. may nagsasabi ng ganito. Kung ating titingnan, bukas, April 9, araw ng kagitingan, lahat nung pinaglaban ng ating mga ninuno, may mga kamag-anak din akong kasama sa Death March. Ibig sabihin, binaliwala na natin lahat 'yon. So, lahat ng ito ay hindi dapat mabaliwala. Ang ating kasarinlan ay hindi dapat ibigay, ipaubaya, pabayaan, lalong-lalo na kung titingnan natin yung karapatan din ng mga susunod na saling lahi. Walang karapatan yung ibang nagsasalita ngayon to decide for the next generation. If they want to give up Philippine claims, palagay ko maling-mali yon. Yes, sir.
With the development po, no, balikan ko na po tayo.
Sa?
Development po doon, no, sa kaso ni Pastor Kiko.
Okay.
Dapat po ba magpatuloy yung pagdinig ni Senator Tiberos?
Dapat, we leave that to the chairman of the committee, kung ano pa yung gusto niyang makalap in aid of legislation. So, hayaan na po natin siya na magdesisyon.
Sir, I just want to get your comment dun sa call po ni Senator Nancy Inay sa Philippine Retirement Authority na
And visas.
Skill and visa kasi may mga alleged reports daw na Chinese mafia using passports with special resident retirees.
I agree na baka na circumvent yung existing visa accommodation natin that would lead to the entry of hindi naman sleeper cells, individuals who might be harming our national security in the future. So I support the call of Senator Nancy Binay.
Sir, does it merit an investigation?
Alam ko nagkaroon na ng investigasyon patungkol doon sa fake birth certificates. Magkakarugtong na to eh. Di ba ang daming nakakuha na? I think nag-investigasyon ng Blue Ribbon. Hindi, nung mga bago mag-Holy Week.
IDs and
Yes. Yes, so
So, dapat sir, tuloy, laliman pa po yung pag-iimbestiga kasi ang daming legal documents na para sa Pilipino lang pero nakukuha ng ibang nationals.
Correct.
Especially Congo.
Oo, nakakakuha nga sila ng driver's license eh. Di ba? So, ang dami ng ganyan. Anything more? Anything else?
Ito lang naman sir, as chairman of yung maritime group na committee, baka po, meron po kayo nakuha information about sa sinabi ni President Marcos na comprehensive package na gagawin sa West Philippine Sea in light of these recent attacks from China.
Comprehensive?
Plan daw na i-invoke daw ng Philippine government. Baka may information na po kayo about it.
So siguro itong mga nangyayari nga, but I don't have the complete details, but I support the current initiatives na palakasin yung ating sariling defense capability. But I'd like to remind you that I have a pending measure which you should all be aware of. Sayang hindi na cover ito kasi executive session eh. And this is Senate Bill 654. Senate Bill 654 will be a very, very important legislation after the Maritime Zones Law, which is about to be signed by the President. Ang unang anak ni Maritime Zones Law is the Archipelagic Sea Lanes. Ito yung daanan ng mga barko. Pero si Senate Bill 654 will be a landmark legislation. It will set in motion the strengthening of our Philippine Navy. And I authored this. And I think we're about to come out with a committee report soon. Ma'am? Calling? Ay dinideny na nga yung existence ng how can you investigate an agreement which is not written? 'Di ba? Parang hearsay na lang eh. He says, she says, 'di ba? So I don't think there is a modest, with all due respect, a sound basis for that, considering that the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, VCLT, is very specific. An agreement has to be in writing. Di ba? So I'd like to add one more. Puro kayo legal the Department of Justice just issued a resolution relative to the case of LV Vergara. Yung binulag. So lumabas na yung resolution that the Ruiz couple would now be charged by an appropriate court for the crimes of serious illegal detention with serious physical injuries, punishable under Article 267 and 263 of the Revised Penal Code. Na-dismiss po yung kaso patungkol sa anti-trafficking of persons. Medyo mataas po ang standard ng trafficking of persons. And then yung ibang mga involved referred for further investigation sa Provincial Prosecutor of Occidental Mindoro. So this was just released last week by the Department of Justice.
Sir, yung other accused includes the barangay chairman.
Yes,
The local police now.
barangay chairman and correct, parang nabasa mo na to, Sherry. The barangay chairman Jimmy Patal and yung dalawang pulis, yung babae Elisa Palabay and another one Jerome Ruiz, yung anak siguro ito, Kim Ruiz. So for those interested, I have a copy here of the Constitution of China. Gusto niyo basahin? Ha? Thank you. Kaninong cellphone to?